I've gotten this question twice from two different seminarians about should they leave the seminary to go to a traditional seminary because they love the traditional Latin Mass. So I just wanted to address this to the seminarians that are following and watching this page, just so we can get some ideas clear here. I love the traditional Latin Mass. For me, it's beautiful. It helps me pray. It's the reverence. And I just don't understand what's going on in Rome at the moment, that they're trying to destroy, and it will fail, but they're trying to destroy what we hold precious. However, I've also been nourished in the Novus Ordo sed reverently ad orientem. As I said in a previous video, it's like getting 20. It's like getting up to Calvary, but not being able to arrive to the last 20 meters. For me. Okay, I'm just speaking from my own experience. The Novus Ordo sed reverently can be beautiful. I served Mass with St. John Paul II during Easter Vigil in 1995. It was a beautiful Mass. So it's not like I have, and I'm here to argue against it. But I do promote and I do love traditional Latin Mass. I do think Archbishop Lefebvre was right to save the Mass, to show his love for traditional Latin Mass. There was nothing wrong with it, and the Church in due time will see the error in their ways, because popes make errors. They make errors in judgment. Pope St. John Paul II made errors in judgment. For example, in the case that I know, regarding Father Marcial, he refused to listen to Cardinal Ratzinger and took his advice from other people. So popes make mistakes and they make errors in judgment. And I firmly believe, as regards traditional Latin Mass and Traditionis Custodes, they've made one of the biggest mistakes in the last 50 years, trying to alienate Catholics who love the Mass and to know their faith. But as regards seminary formation and seminarians who are currently in seminary to be ordained to celebrate the Novus Ordo, if you've gone into that seminary in good faith, working with your bishop, working with seminary formation, working with spiritual director, good confessors and so forth, and you're in there and you're happy, and the only reason that you want to change seminaries is because you want to be able to celebrate the traditional Latin Mass, I would say no, do not leave. And I'm going to say this clearly, because your formation, there's a lot more to formation in this moment in time than just being prepared to celebrate the traditional Latin Mass. Priestly formation has changed vastly, and I'm glad it has. You have this preparation year now, and you need to be a new type of priest, in the sense that you need to be really holy. You need to be really ruthless with yourself in your spiritual life, with your confessors, with your spiritual directors, to battle sin, to battle your past, to battle your vices, or anything that could be separating you from God. And it does require a new type of approach, in the sense that, men come into the seminaries now, you're not coming in from a world where, 100 years ago, you wouldn't have been exposed to porn and vices and drugs and all of this that there is today. It's a different environment. It's more difficult. It simply is. So I would focus on getting good formation, good human formation, good spiritual formation, reading. There's nothing wrong with, studying the traditional Latin Mass in a seminary, even though you might think you might not be able to celebrate it because the bishop might not be able to get permission. Things will change in 10 years. In 10 years, you don't know what's going to happen in the church. And God is putting his soldiers in different places for when the renewal comes in the church, and it will come. I'm very cautious of any seminarian or religious that goes seminary hunting. Oh, I'm not happy here, so I'll be happy somewhere else. Don't fall into that trap. That's a temptation from the devil, if you ask me. It's a temptation. Oh, I'm not happy here. Why aren't you happy there? Don't use the reason of being able to celebrate the traditional Latin Mass as the only temptation to change seminaries. Now, that said, if your bishop and your spiritual director and your confessor and the formation team are happy that you're able to transfer to another seminary, and there's transparency and I can understand that. Or maybe you're called, for example, to contemplative life. You want to be a monk or something like that, and you want to go to a traditional monastery, and your bishop and your confessor and your spiritual director, the formation team, they're okay with you. That's where I work with people, but don't jump ship thinking that things are going to be better, because you could find a different team, different problems. What Christ has told me for my personal life here is, I go to every mass. I go to any mass. I'll go anywhere. He said, Christ will speak to me in church, in my church. It's an adventure, and I have to work with him, and wherever he leads me, wherever he leads me, places me where he places me, I'll go. So no, I don't. To the two seminarians that have reached out to me, you are where you are for a reason. You went to that seminary for a reason. You went to the bishop for a reason. And if you're not being bullied and you're not being stressed, and the only reason is your love for the Mass to change, I would wait. Get ordained, and you don't know what's going to happen in the church in 10 years' time. You simply don't. And God may want you where you are to reach a particular soul on a particular day, or to help a particular person. Because when the renewal comes in the church, which it will, the whole church will have to come together and renew the faith. You know what I mean? If it will happen, the church will see sense at some stage. My hope is that they put the Vetus Ordo and the Novus Ordo in the Missale Romano, and let priests and bishops, just renew the faith, and use the Mass, allow the Mass to be renewed. But at this moment in time, we're in silly season in the church, and we just have to live through this and pray and hope. The Mass isn't the tool or the plaything of bishops and priests to do with as they like. And I do ask young seminarians, be traditional, but don't be rigid. Do you know what I mean? Don't be rigid. Be rigid with your spiritual life interiorly, but not the exteriors. Some people focus too much on the exteriors. Live a profound life of grace. Have good spiritual direction. Have good confessors. Work on your spiritual life. Work on your past. If you're carrying stuff in there in your past, work on that. Work through it. And be profound men who know the spiritual life in the spiritual battle, and who are able to lead souls. Be that. I really encourage you to do that. But I don't encourage shopping around for seminaries, unless you're in the preparation year, the propedeutic year, that first year, and you're really not finding the seminary what you expected. That's a preparation year, and in that case, talk to the bishop and others. Look, I feel called to I'd really like to go in and do the traditional Latin Mass. Because some men are coming into seminary now, and they've gone to traditional Latin Mass as teenagers, and then I could understand them. Yeah, well, okay, that's what you found beautiful. Then go into a seminary there. But we need to. I just want to caution people, seminarians, because I don't recommend changing things in your life unless they've been well considered, thought out, and discussed. Because you could be going into a different community, different seminary, different friends, and so forth. Maybe you're in the seminary where you are, you're helping a seminarian or somebody else there work through their issues, or helping them. Do you know what I mean? It's important. It's not all about us at the end of the day. It's about the people that are around us. We have to help the people that are around us. Mentor them, support them, bring them along. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of vital in that way. So, anyway, just some thoughts on it, a bit all over the place. But no, I don't recommend that seminarians leave their communities where they are, unless they've had a very long discussion with their bishop, with their confessors, with their spiritual directors, with the formation team, with other people, and it's to be discerned well, and it's all above board, and you have, it's transparent and clear. That's my thoughts on it anyway. Don't make life-changing decisions on the spur of the moment. You have to be very careful. Anyway, just my thoughts on it, and praying for those seminarians, and thank you for looking at my channel. It's a blog about the faith. I love my faith. I love the church, but I want to see it renewed. And I think we should renew the faith where we are, where God has placed us. Let's renew it here. Let's try and renew it here. That's why I go to the Novus Ordo in the parish where I am sometimes. To pray to, and even though it's difficult for me, it's very difficult. But I'm here for a reason. Why would God place me here? So we have to help souls encounter the amazing graces that Christ is offering us, and renew this faith in the church. Because the church has to come together. We can't go off into our own silos and not be able to talk to each other. There might be a soul that's suffering. There might be a guy who's suffering from drugs, alcohol addictions, and needs help. Where I am, I don't know what God's going to do. Do you know what I mean? And if we leave him where we are, we could be missing the grace that Christ is trying to give us. So I do recommend that seminarians dig into the spiritual life, know the spiritual life, no spiritual warfare, no prayer. Move forward in the stages of prayer. Discursive, contemplative, unitive. Start moving forward into that, moving into prayer, and it's a process of interior conversion. And it's really beautiful. So that's just my thoughts. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. But I am praying for you. Just be careful about thinking the grass it might be greener on the other side. It's a temptation in my view, unless it's been well thought out and well discussed. Okay, God bless. Take care. Bye bye.